Brave, and that's what entrepreneurship is about. It's about being brave and leaving the comfort zone. So are there people in the room that want to venture into it? That's the way to go. I'm sure we'll listen to you at some point. You run your own planning business, is that correct? Correct. And you've run it for quite a while. Actually, you put it there since 1997. I think it's quite inspiring. Well done to you and your team. Okay. Because of time management, one of the things that the guys have tried to do is to put in some kind of interactive thing. So I want everybody to bring in their phone, bring out their phone, make sure you're connected to the internet. I don't think all the service providers will work as we are on the ground. So are they all working? Wi-Fi. Yeah, so connect to Wi-Fi, which is Novotel. If you just connect to Novotel Wi-Fi, it will ask you email address, and then that's it. Make sure you're connected to the internet, and the use of this is particularly for those people pitching. As they are pitching in the 5 minutes that they've been given, if you have any questions, any comments that will help them, that's the code there. That's where you need to log into popin.live, and that's the code for the first person that will pitch. I'll run through for those pitching so that you can see where you are. Then I'll come back. Canalis is the next. Bomadri is the next. Dolce Supply is next. Fudge is next. Happy Little Feet is next. And Paddy Cakes is next. Then I don't think that person is around. Okay, so I'll go back. At each point, I'll try to change it so that people will know. Is that okay? So are people logged in? If you're logged in? Everybody logged in? I need to see because we're going to take that screen away. Or you're not logged in, let me see. You're trying, keep trying. It's quite useful if you can get it to work. Okay? I'm trying to reverse so that you're the first person. Are you ready? It's Y14CEA. I'm going to take it away now. Also, it is actually in the questionnaire form that you have with you. So actually, I should take it away. It's in the questionnaire form. Yes, at the back of the questionnaire form. So once I take this away, it should be fine. Okay. Teachers, are you ready? What I've not told you is as well is we're going to break at some point. So we'll run 3 and then we'll break and then we'll run. What you don't want to do is make your phone to ring when pitching because it can destabilize people. Okay, for those that are also on social media, those are the hashtags you can use. Hashtag C4B event, hashtag C4B, and then we can go on. Okay? I think we are ready to go. A round of applause for Afropop.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Toyin Awofala, and I'm the founder and CEO of Afriport. As you can see, Afriport simply means the port in Afriport is power on demand, and the company is focused on renewable energy. Now, the companies went into business because of the issues with a lot of billions of African and other emerging markets, homes and small businesses that either without electricity or with inadequate supply of electricity. Again, I have been an investment banker myself. I've been investment banking for over 25 years, mainly in areas of commodities and fixed income trading. I have a strategic partner, Mr. Adioni Banjo, who really works in terms of business model and the operating model, because one of the features that we're going to bring into this, into the business, is ensure that we're able to manage energy consumption over a blockchain blockchain technology. Now, what I want to discuss here is actually to talk about what Afriport brings to the world, wherever it operates, either in emerging markets in Africa, whichever country it goes, it does make an effective change into the state of the status quo. One of it is that entrepreneurs are free from inefficient, centralized electricity infrastructure. I'm sure many of us are aware of this in most of the West African countries, whereby even though you get electricity, either something they call low current, which really damages most of your electronics, or you don't get anything at all. And in 9 out of 10, in most cases, it's mainly affected by those actually running businesses. One of the other impacts that Afriport brings to the world is that because it provides solutions in renewable energy, it eliminates a lot of the toxic fumes and pollution that is generated by a lot of generators or some other form of solution where people use today, like kerosene, to actually do lamps and things like that. Also, it also improves the life in rural areas, meaning that now a lot of the villages and rural communities that actually run Afriport, they actually now be able to not only have lights, not only that they're able to run their devices like just television and always have fan, they also have hotspots, Wi-Fi hotspots, because each of the Afriport devices, if I go back, each of this device itself is embedded with a SIM, a GSM SIM, and they use that SIM as a Wi-Fi within the community in the rural areas and the villages. So if I continue, now, talking about Afriport solution itself, there has been a lot of research about, before we actually arrive at the solution we market in Africa today. But these are the features which makes it competitive to all the other products in the market. And actually, the products in the market, there's only one product in the market, which is in South Africa, and does not have all these features that Afriport has. Just because of time, I've already talked about this, is that our target market is West Africa, and one of the reasons why we're really focused on West Africa is that 50% of the population, adult population, are under the age of 25, and that makes the population a growing working class. Growing working class under 25 means that there's a huge demand of electronics, and huge demand of electronics require a good electricity to drive them. Also, we also estimate that we were able to drive well over 6,000 units of these products in our first year, because a competing product in South Africa was able to do 60,000 in their first year. And the product they offer today is far, far less competitive with our product, which is, in all these features, will actually compete far more than the product that is, I mentioned, the only competing product which is available in South Africa. This is a rough estimate of the kind of forecast what will happen in our first year if we're able to get some funding. As you can see, we have two areas in which we generate revenue, either selling the products or leasing the product. And this is a rough estimate of the kind of expenses we're talking about. Now, one of two key features to ensure that Afriport is successful that we must implement is the fact that we are going to drive a lot of sales and support through Afriport centers, which a lot of the functions I mentioned to you, like hotspot, Wi-Fi hotspots, and things like support mechanism for the consumers will be driven through Afriport centers, which will be distributed across any country that we implement. Also, the SIM feature in the SIM feature in the base unit will enable us to remotely switch off and switch on the system, monitor whether support is required, and also be able to ensure that the system is in good health. All additional information that's available here are the information that were requested by ImCom, that they wanted information about the business which are provided here, and all that includes things like what is the expansion plan, what are the financial funding that we require, and what we will do with it. In terms of that, the key is that we need to buy stock. Afriport is already running. Afriport started running September last year in Nigeria, and we're driving a lot of small businesses like barbers, tailors, small shops, betting shops already. But the key is that we require funding to be able to provide system for them to list. We are only able to drive people who are interested in buying the product and buying the product outright at the moment. And there's a huge demand of a lot of small businesses that are actually suffering because of lack of electricity. And a lot of other information that Afriport can possibly do, things like being hotspots in towns and villages, being able to provide a blockchain technology. You're able to remotely switch on and off the system. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tempted to actually say, can we give a comment? Or no, that's not the plan. I'm really tempted. But I've just been shown the result. Thank you for those of you that are already getting into it. I can see quite a lot of people saying they're interested in it. They or anybody in their network can invest in your business. So
thank you very much.
That's quite useful. We're going to show it at some point. But let's just go to the second person, if I can find the second person.
So, Ayo, can I ask a question? When do you, at what point do
We're going to give you feedback after half of it.
answer questions?
Yes, after.